So first of all, congratulations on the show. I've watched half of the series already, so congratulations.
Thank you.
It's kind of loosely based on Simon and Nick's adventures ghost hunting when they were young. So what sort of stories did they tell you about the experiences?
What stories did they tell me? Well, Nick told me, we had some lovely conversations, because I think we both have something in common where we recognize a family member in a frequently visiting animal. And I know that Nick recognizes his mum in a robin that pops around in his garden. And quite recently, I discovered or mistook possibly a squirrel for the spirit of my grandma. So we share something quite strong in there. What else? I've heard about them going out ghost busting, and I think like maybe, God, I can't remember well now, that like Nick got lost and separated from Simon, and maybe spent like the whole night trying to get home or something, and got back to discover Simon like eating a takeaway in the living room or something. I don't know, but that sounds very Trucy, because the sort of failed ghost busting event that ends in like a Chinese takeaway. I don't know. I think that's great.
It's very true to the spirit of what they said they had experienced. I was surprised to hear that Nick actually had a female ghost living in the house that he shared with Simon. So did he talk about that?
I've heard Nick talk about it in interviews. I'm not sure that I've grilled him on this lady living in his house, but I take the man's word for it. I take everything Nick says as gospel, so I can only assume that, yeah, he's right, and I hope she's moved on to pastures new.
Do you believe in the paranormal, and have you ever had a supernatural experience that you can talk about?
I sort of do believe. Or at least I would say I'm like happy and open to it. When I was a kid, actually, I had a black cat, and my black cat went missing, and it was very sad. And I put up posters all around the town, and I leafleted doors and stuff. And I got a phone call from a woman who told me that she was in contact with my cat. She told me that my cat was happy, that my cat was alive, that my cat missed me, that my cat was concerned for me and my well-being, and that my cat was trying to get back to me. And so I said, okay, right, great. Well, would you help me find it? And indeed, and I went on a sort of spiritual journey with this cat medium. I think the point at which we actually had to track down the cat is kind of complicated, because I don't know how it works if you're like a cat medium, if it's like a GPS system. But anyway, she'd narrowed it down to this right line of houses, and yeah, needless to say, we didn't find my cat, and people were quite confused. I think when we knocked on their doors. But that still doesn't disprove anything for me. I think she might have been a phony cat medium.
All of the main characters are kind of seeking their own personal truth, and it's not just the truth of is there an afterlife and is there other spirits. So can you talk a bit about how that applies to Astrid?
Yeah, so Astrid is a bit of a mystery. When we first meet her, she appears seemingly out of nowhere, no real context. She's very alone. She has no friends or family around her. But what she does have is a huge gang of ghosts and ghouls that are following her everywhere. She runs into Nick and Samson's characters, Gus and Elton, and I think discovers the sort of ghost busting expertise that she sort of desperately needs. I think like the thing that is beautiful, and actually is true for a lot of the characters in Truth Seekers, is that Astrid is not just literally haunted by a load of ghouls. She's also haunted by and trying to escape from demons in her past, and big question marks around her life and where she's come from. And I think that's kind of what's at the heart of this series, because both for Astrid and for Gus and for Elton, is this feeling of running from something, but also possibly running towards one's truth, or the truth of one situation.
You have Nick and Simon both as co-stars, but at the same time, they are co-creators of the show and co-writers. So that's kind of a rare opportunity to work with such a combination. So how did that kind of help you as an actor?
So I spent most time on set with Nick. Me and Simon didn't have a lot of screen time together. I think what was just the joy and was really exciting and really galvanizing is the fact that Nick is like a fountain of kind of creative energy, and he is never finished. I don't think he is in any way satisfied to just say that the script is done, the script is immovable, whatever. He has an amazing talent and energy for just continually improving around the lines, or like reworking jokes in the moment. And that's just amazing. What an amazing thing to be around, not least because you have to be present in order to respond to that. Honestly, you've got to be present, because in truth, you don't know what's coming with Nick. Yeah, so that was lovely. And also to just get the chance to kind of hear him talk a bit about reasons for making this piece of work, sort of starting points for making this piece of work. It just felt like a real honor, I guess, to work that closely with one of the primary artists.
So when he's doing improv, did you get a chance as well to improv based on how he responds on screen?
Yeah, I mean, Nick won't tell you it's coming, but he is just beautifully free in the way that he works. And so if he says something completely different, you need to respond in a way that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I think I would say that I allowed myself to be guided by Nick, and part of that is because it is his work, and the vision is so majorly his. But it definitely creates an atmosphere on set of freedom and of play, which I think just like keeps a show alive and keeps it feeling fresh and real.
One of my favorite things, I think, is in the scene where he asks, "What's your favorite TV show?" and she responds as Friends,
Yeah.
which is my favorite as well. So was that part of the script, or was that something you improv?
That was in the script, but what wasn't in the script was Nick's several kind of scene setters. So there's a scene that we see where he's trying to sort of put Astrid into a hypnotic state, and he did just start talking about, like, I don't know, neurotic Monica, and yeah, just that was all just straight out of Nick's head, and I was largely working very hard to not start corpsing whilst
I was imagining how funny it must have been to actually film these scenes when you're actually doing horror, but at the same time, it's kind of like a horror comedy.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the kind of horror props or horror effects are practicals, which is both quite terrifying and also has humor in it. So I feel like we were literally always stuck in this like nether zone between something quite spooky and scary and just, I don't know, losing it with laughter.
Gus debunks conspiracy theories, and he also goes looking for paranormal activity. So what's the one truth that you'd like to debunk in real life?
Oh wow, okay. So what am I debunking some myth?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the one truth that I would like to debunk? God, that is a great question, which I do not have an answer to. I find it quite annoying when you hear that myth about bees not being able to fly, like according to science. I feel like that describes everything that's wrong with humans. Like that's clearly not true because they can. I think that has now been thrown out.
And is there anything you'd like to see explode in season 2? I haven't seen the rest of season 1 yet, but based on what has been shown so far, is there anything you'd like to see with Astrid explode in the next season?
Yeah, I think without being very careful about what I say, I think Astrid has, as we learn in the first series, an ability to move around in a way that is unusual and possibly supernatural. What we don't quite get a chance to see in the first series is kind of to what extent that power can be seized. And I think that there's a really big opportunity to just see what she can do with so hard to say without I think it'd be nice to see like what that newfound power might lead to.
Thank you so much for the chat, Emma, and wishing you all the best.
You too, have a good day.